Welcome back. So in this section, we're going to be going through another very useful indicator. So as you know, in the previous video, we learned about EMA lines, right? So as you see, I still have the EMA lines on the chart. We're looking at Solana on the 1 hour time frame. So as usual, how to get more indicators on your chart with TradingView is you simply go to the indicators tab, and the indicator that I'm going to teach you about right now in this video is called MACD. So you just type in MACD, and you want to select the one that has the full abbreviation to it. So moving average, convergence, divergence. It sounds very complicated. I promise you it's not. So as when you select the MACD, you're going to see this this sub chart pop up below your main chart, and it's going to be like some histograms and some EMA lines, right? So that's the reason why I feel like I would say MACD and EMA lines are like a great pair, because they kind of they're very, very similar, right? So when you select your MACD, you want to go to the hover over the MACD and then select settings, which is this bolt icon. And so let me just show you real quick how I'm going to set up my MACD, right? So as you know, previously I had 3 EMA lines: 9-day, 20-day, 200-day. 9-day is going to be my fast day, and the 20-day is going to be my slow day. I'll show you what that means when it comes to the MACD. So you go over to the settings. Fast length is going to be 9. Slow length is going to be 20. So there we go. And as you can see, right, you see how the MACD indicator and the histogram pretty much follows like the structure of price movement, right? So we had a spike here, and it shows in the actual chart. Then we had another pull down, and then another spike, and it continues. So how you want to use the MACD with the EMA lines it's very, very similar, but there are some rules here. So the middle of this histogram right here, this is what you call your zero line. Okay, so whenever the MACD EMA lines are below this zero line, you're getting into like a low buy pressure zone, right? So it's going to be the price action is going to be on a downtrend, okay, on a downtrend. And as you see, it correlates with the 200-day EMA as well, because this is a resistance line, and prices falling deeper from the resistance line. And as you can see, it correlates almost perfectly at this point. So resistance, MACD is showing weakness in price action. The price is falling, and this is just a really good setup to understand, right? So if we look now for when price broke above the 200-day EMA line, so let's just say, okay, at this point we see the crossover, but the cross below the 9-day EMA is crossing below the 20. So when you look at that and you look at the MACD, the same thing is happening. The 9-day EMA line is crossing below the 20, and it's going below this zero line. So this is showing like price is going to pull back down, maybe to like a previous low or somewhere close, right? And then what you want to look for is the reversal, right? So there's a reversal happening right here in this zone. So the minute you see your EMA lines cross below, that you're getting down to a low point. This would be a good buy zone, right? Because as you see, the 9-day EMA made a nice curve at this point and started to point back to the upside, right? And right here at this point, the 9-day crosses over the 20-day. So let's look at what happened on the MACD during this price action. So we see the curve and we see the crossover, same thing. Only thing is that the MACD kind of gives you a earlier indication. So you see the 9-day is just crossing over the 20-day on the MACD at this range right here, not here. So when you see this, you see this type of movement on the MACD right here at the bottom, swing low for the 9-day EMA, and it's sloping back upwards, right? It's pointing upwards, and it's just crossing the 20-day. This is a good indication for you to pay attention to what's going on. What kind of candles are being printed. There's a series of green bullish candles. This is a great indicator that we got a lot of buy pressure at this point, and this is more than likely where you want to get in, right? So you want to buy right at this point. Okay, you want to buy right at this zone, according to the MACD, because this is where the crossover happened, right? And then, as you see, the upward momentum continued, and then we had a stronger indication when both EMA lines crossed over the 0 line on the MACD indicator. So it's crossing over that previous resistance, and then we have a potential breakout. And so that's really the gist of how these indicators work together. It's not some crazy like complicated strategy. It's just understanding the fundamentals of how these things work. So you see this confluence. There's a crossover on the MACD. There's strong upward price action, green candles going in. This would be a good chance to take a long position, take a buy position, set your stop loss right at the previous low, and maybe take profit at a previous high or something, like the previous break of the resistance. But again, this is pretty much it. Like, all of these things will look complicated the first time seeing them, but once you just start to understand how these work, it'll definitely change your change the game for you when it comes to trading, because all of this is building blocks. This is what you want to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as you can see, very similar to the EMAs, you will start to notice when price is getting down to this support zone, which is the 200-day EMA, and then you start to notice that, okay, the MACD is showing weakness in price action, so it's pulling below the 0 line. The 9-day has crossed below the 20-day, so more than likely we're going to be in a downtrend. This is where you want to get out of your position, right? So again, very useful, very useful concept and indicators to master. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video.